I felt as if I were nailed to the spot. Through that bright window, I could clearly see my wife kissing a strange man. They embraced passionately, lost in each other, as if the world around them had ceased to exist. And I, who had traveled over 2,000 kilometers by train, had come all this way just to witness this scene with my own eyes. I bit my lip so hard that I tasted blood. They embraced by the window, the man lifting her chin with his hand, gently caressing it. She tilted her head slightly, her eyes hazy, smiling with an intoxicating delight. I had never seen such an expression on her face before. Not even during our courtship had she ever looked so tenderly enamored. This is not the Mary the first now. My wife, the woman I've been in love with for 7 years and married to for 3, is now lost in another man's embrace. I wanted to rush in and confront her, to beat that man senseless, to demand what all these years of devotion meant to her. But I stood there, frozen in place. I know that what I should do right now is not act impulsively, but to calm myself down. My phone was vibrating frantically in my pocket. I took it out and saw my wife's missed calls and messages. "Honey, don't disturb me tonight. I'm out shopping with my bestie and might be back very late." "Huh, bestie?" I put away my phone, my eyes fixed intently on the scene outside the window. The man's fingers twirled his wife's hair as she leaned against his chest, occasionally letting out bell-like laughter. This laughter pierced through the window, stinging my eardrums. I had never seen this man before, but judging by his attire and demeanor, he must be a successful individual. The deep blue custom-tailored suit, the expensive wristwatch, and that composed, unflappable aura, all unmistakably declared his status. This reminds me of myself, an ordinary IT company technical supervisor, busy with code and projects every day, working overtime desperately to support my family. I thought that as long as I worked hard and nurtured the marriage with care, I could protect this hard-won relationship. But now it seems all of this was just my wishful thinking. They finally parted ways, and the man straightened his wife's collar for her. This detail stung my eyes because it was a little habit between my wife and me. Every time before she went out, I would straighten her collar for her, and she would always say, "You're still the most thoughtful." Now it seems she said the same words to another man, hasn't she? I took out my phone, opened the camera, and silently recorded this scene. I prepared for this moment for far too long. Ever since receiving that anonymous email half a month ago, I knew this day would come eventually. The email contained just a few simple lines. "Your wife is cheating on you. Every Thursday night, she meets a man at XX residential area. If you don't believe me, you can go see for yourself." At first, I didn't believe it because my wife always said she was meeting with her girlfriends every Thursday night. But once that seed of doubt is planted, it grows wildly. I started paying attention to my wife's every move and noticed she had indeed changed a lot. Newly bought perfume, frequently changed lipstick, suddenly increased social engagements, always texting with her back turned to me. These details were like tiny knives, slowly cutting into my heart. I took annual leave, pretending to go for training in another city. In reality, I had been secretly investigating. Soon, I obtained the man's profile. Tom, 32, an executive at an investment firm with a 6-figure annual income. Most importantly, he was my wife's senior from college, and they had once been in a relationship. So that's how it is. The reappearance of the white moonlight was destined to scorch my eyes. I watched them bid farewell reluctantly by the window, the man's hand caressing my wife's cheek as she nuzzled against it affectionately. The gesture made me sick because it used to be her little habit too. Now it seems I was just a passerby in her life, a mere substitute. Until the man left, I slowly walked toward that building. In the elevator, I looked at my reflection in the mirror, a haggard face, weary eyes. Was this still the same ambitious young man from before? Ding! The elevator arrived. I stood at the door, took a deep breath, and rang the doorbell. Before long, the door opened. My wife was wearing a light purple dress, her face still flushed with joy, but she froze in place the moment she saw me. "H-husband, why are you back?" Her voice trembled. I pushed the door open and walked in. What? Not happy to see me? No. I mean, aren't you supposed to be in training? She frantically smoothed her hair. I thought you weren't coming back for another 3 days. I looked around. It was a meticulously arranged house. On the coffee table sat 2 half-empty wine glasses, and the air was thick with the scent of suggestive perfume. This wasn't our home. This was her love nest with that man. The training ended early. I walked to the window, gazing at the night outside. The view was quite nice just now, wasn't it? Her face instantly turned pale. You. When did you get here? Just in time to see my dear wife kissing another man by the window. I turned around, staring at her coldly. Well? Care to explain now? She fell to her knees with a thud. Honey, I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. Please forgive me this once. I laughed, the sound dripping with indescribable irony. Forgive? Mary, do you really think betrayal can be resolved with just an apology? I truly know I was wrong. She crawled over and clung to my leg. It was all Tom's fault. He said it was just catching up. I didn't know how it ended up. I shoved her away. Catching up? On the bed? She froze, tears streaming down her face. No, we didn't. Enough. I cut her off. Do you think I just happened to stumble upon this today? Let me tell you, I've been investigating for a long time. From the day you reunited, from the first time you lied about going shopping with your girlfriends, I've been looking into it. She collapsed onto the floor, shaking her head repeatedly. I'm sorry. I pulled out a stack of photos from my bag and slammed them down in front of her. Take a look. Every single one of your dates, I've recorded them clearly. High-end restaurants, private cinemas, love hotels. Every place you've been to, I know it all. The photos scattered across the floor, each one vividly documenting her betrayal. There were photos of them walking hand in hand on the street, gazing deeply at each other in a restaurant, embracing at the entrance of a hotel. She covered her face and sobbed. Please, give me one more chance. I really know I was wrong. I won't see him again. I promise. A chance. I sneered, crouching down and turning her face toward me. Tell me, where have I failed you all these years? Didn't I love you enough? Didn't I care enough? Or was the money not enough? She cried even harder. You've been the best to me. It's all my fault. It's all my greed. Greedy? I stood up, looking down at her. You're not greedy. You're just lustful. Did you think I didn't know? Tom was your first love, the one you could never forget. Now that he's back, you couldn't wait to throw yourself at him. No, it's not like that. She tried to grab my hand, but I dodged. It's really over between us. It's just, he suddenly showed up and brought up so many old memories. I was confused for a moment. I opened my phone's photo album. Confused? Then let me make it clearer for you. I played a recording. Tom talking to his friend at a bar. That dumb woman actually believed me? Haha, I thought it'd take more effort. Once I'm bored, I'll move on to the next one. Who knew she'd take it seriously? My wife collapsed to the ground instantly, as if all her strength had been drained. No. Impossible. Do you understand now? I put my phone away. You're just a toy he got tired of and threw away. And I actually believed in you all these years like a fool. She shook her head frantically. No, he promised to get a divorce. He said he would be with me. Ha ha ha. I couldn't help but laugh. How ridiculous. You really thought he'd divorce for you? A man like him. Do you think he'd care about a mistress like you? The words felt like a knife, plunging straight into her heart. She collapsed to the floor, her eyes empty. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I took out a document from my bag and threw it in front of her. Sign it. Her hands trembled as she picked it up. It was a divorce agreement. No, please don't. She lunged forward again, clinging to my leg. Husband, I know I was wrong. Give me one chance, just one. I'll listen to everything you say. I'll do whatever you want. I looked at her coldly. Including cheating on me? She shuddered and let go of my hand. I continued, now, immediately, right away, sign it. Otherwise, I'll send your photos to everyone and let the whole world know what kind of person you are. She knew I meant what I said and finally picked up the pen with trembling hands. Tears fell on the paper, spreading into wet stains. After signing, she seemed to lose all strength, collapsing to the ground. Please, don't leave me. I picked up the agreement and walked toward the door without looking back. A clean break, right? Wait, she suddenly called out to me. Those photos? I turned around and smirked coldly. Want me to destroy the photos? Dream on. These are my lifelines. If you dare harass me or let Tom come after me, I'll release them all. She collapsed to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. As I opened the door, something suddenly occurred to me. Oh, and thank Tom for me. Thank him for what? She looked up in confusion. Thank him for showing me your true colors. I smiled. Otherwise, I would have been fooled by you for a lifetime. The moment I closed the door, I heard her burst into loud sobs inside. But I remained unmoved, my heart already dead. As I walked out of the neighborhood, I glanced at that window one more time. Just a few hours ago, I witnessed my wife's betrayal with my own eyes. Now it's all over. I looked up at the starry sky and suddenly felt a lightness in my chest. This lightness wasn't relief, but the thrill of impending revenge. Yes, I won't let this go. Since they're so good at playing games, I'll play along with them properly. Back at the hotel, I opened my laptop and started organizing the materials I'd collected over the past 2 weeks. Tom, aren't you the one who loves playing games the most? Then I'll let you taste the bitterness of complete ruin. As for Mary, I'm going to make her regret it to the core of her bones. I want her to watch helplessly as her beloved is destroyed by me, powerless to do anything. I want her to know that betrayal comes with a price. I touched the USB drive in my pocket. It contains all the dirt on Tom. Trade secrets, illegal operations, shady deals. These will all be my weapons of revenge. My phone suddenly vibrated. It was a message from Mary. Honey, I'm downstairs. Can you see me? There's so much I want to say to you. I deleted the message without hesitation. There's nothing left to say. Everything will unfold slowly, just as I've planned. I opened my notebook and wrote the first line. Revenge plan officially begins. At 3 a.m., I was still organizing the materials. Every piece of evidence I've collected these days is enough to make Tom regret his actions. But I'm in no hurry. I want to turn all of this into a meticulously designed spectacle. The phone rang again, still Mary. From last night until now, she had called 137 times and sent 296 messages. I casually scrolled through them. Honey, please see me just once. I really know I was wrong. Can you give me another chance? I've always loved you. Tom was just a momentary lapse. Where are you? I'm begging you on my knees. Can you see me just once? Huh. Now you realize you love me? How could you not think of all this when kissing another man by the window? I turned off my phone and continued organizing the documents. Tom may appear successful on the surface, but in reality, it's all built on shady tactics. He engages in rampant favoritism within the company and secretly dabbles in underground banking. Who knows how much dirty business he's involved in? Ding dong, the doorbell rang. I glanced at the time. Who could it be at this late hour? Peering through the peephole, I saw Mary. She was curled up by the door, like a stray cat with nowhere to go. I didn't open the door, and she kept ringing the doorbell. Stop ringing. You're disturbing the neighbors, I said through the door. Honey, her voice trembled with tears. Please open the door. I know I was wrong. Go back. We're already divorced. No. There's still a chance before we get the marriage certificate. She pounded on the door. Honey, just see me once, okay? I'll listen to everything you say, really. I opened the door, and she immediately rushed over to hug my leg. But the next second, I pushed her away. Be careful. We're not husband and wife anymore. She knelt on the ground. Please forgive me. I really know I was wrong. Tom and I are completely over. I'll never see him again. Cut off? I sneered. Did you cut it off, or did he get bored and break it off himself? She trembled all over. No, it's not like that. Enough. I looked down at her coldly. What's the point of saying all this now? When you betrayed me, why didn't you think about the consequences? I truly know I was wrong. She grabbed my pant leg. You can hit me, scold me, even lock me up and not let me go out. I'll agree to anything you say. I pushed her hand away. Do you think I'm bargaining with you? Mary, what you've lost isn't just a husband, but the trust of someone who deeply loved you. Once broken, this kind of thing can never be repaired. She threw herself at me. wrapping her arms around my waist. No, it won't be like that. Can we start over? I'll spend my whole life making it up to you, I swear. I grabbed her wrist and flung it away forcefully. She fell heavily to the ground, but still crawled toward me desperately. Honey, do you want to know what happened between me and Tom? I'll tell you, we really didn't do anything. Shut up, I roared. Do you think I care about that? In my eyes, your kiss alone is the ultimate betrayal. As for whether anything worse happened, do you think saying any of this now still matters? She froze, tears streaming down her face. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I took a deep breath. Get out. Now, or I'll call the police and report you for harassment. Please don't. She tried to say more, but when she saw me pull out my phone, she finally got scared. Then I'll come see you tomorrow? Do as you please. I turned to close the door, then added, but I advise you to give up. I will never forgive you in this lifetime. Bang. The sound of the door closing was unusually loud. I leaned against the door, listening to the sobs coming from outside. Once the sound would have broken my heart, but now it only grated on my ears. Back at the computer, I continued organizing the documents. My phone rang again, this time from an unfamiliar number. Mr. George, this is Tom. The caller got straight to the point. Shall we talk? I sneered. Talk about what? How you seduced my wife. It's just a game. His tone was flippant. All men understand this. A game. I suppressed my anger. You treat someone else's marriage as a game? Don't take it so seriously. He chuckled. We can settle this privately. Name your price. I'm very generous. I also smiled. Tom, do you really think I lack money? What do you want then? His tone grew impatient. Don't push it. My patience has its limits. What I want is simple. I stared at his photo on the computer screen. I want you to pay the price. Oh, threatening me, are you? He sneered. Kid, do you even know who I am? Of course I do. I said nonchalantly. Tom from Jigness Group, the Tom who's currently preparing for an IPO, right? He paused for a moment. You investigated me? Investigated? That's giving you too much credit. I opened the files on the USB drive. I just took a casual look and found a lot of interesting things. For example, those shady accounts of your company? A sharp intake of breath came from the other end of the line. I continued, Tom, do you think your company can still go public if this information gets leaked? You dare. His voice turned icy. Do you know the consequences of angering me? Consequences? I sneered. Do you think I care about consequences now? Tom, why don't you guess how much dirt I still have on you? He was silent for a long time. What do you really want? I told you. I want you to pay the price, I said deliberately. As for what that price is, you'll find out soon enough. After saying that, I hung up the phone. It seems this Tom is nothing special. Just a little test for me, and he's already lost his composure. I opened the itinerary. Tomorrow is their company's shareholders meeting, and all the major shareholders will be attending. TSK, what perfect timing. The phone rang again, still Mary. This time I answered it. Honey, her voice still carried a sob. Get to the point. Tom, he just called me, she said cautiously. He said you threatened him? I sneer, what? Are you here to plead for your beloved white moonlight? No, she hurriedly denied. I'm just worried about you. Tom is dangerous. He has extensive connections in the circle. So what? I interrupted her. Are you warning me not to provoke him or bragging about how powerful your lover is? I didn't, she sobbed. I was just afraid you'd get hurt. TSK, how touching. I sneered. Then why don't you ask your dear lover how he plans to deal with me? She froze. What do you mean? Nothing. You'll find out soon enough. I glanced at the time. By the way, remember to watch the news tomorrow. Weren't you always so proud of him? Perfect timing to see what kind of trash your white moonlight really is. After saying that, I hung up the phone. I turned on my computer and started sending emails to major media outlets. Tom, since you like to play games, I'll give you a big one to play with. As for Mary, let her see just how filthy her so-called white moonlight really is. At 6 a.m., headlines from several major financial media outlets updated simultaneously. Shocking. Renowned investment firm Jigness Group implicated in major financial fraud. I leaned back in my chair, watching as media outlets followed up with reports one after another. Tom, the show has just begun. The phone kept ringing nonstop, all calls from Mary. I glanced at it. In just half an hour, she had already made 28 calls and sent 50 messages. The latest one read, "Please don't do this to him." Huh, now you're worried about your precious white moonlight. I replied coldly with a smirk. What? Can't bear to see your sweetheart suffer in my hands. She replied instantly, "No, I just think this isn't right." Not right. I called her directly. "Mary, when you betrayed me with him, why didn't you think it wasn't right?" Her sobs came through the phone. "I know I was wrong, but you'll ruin him like this." Ruin him? My laughter turned even colder. You think this is over? Let me tell you, this is just the beginning. I'll make him lose everything, drag him from the clouds straight into hell. As for you, I'll do anything. She said hurriedly, "I'll do whatever you want. Just please let him go." I suddenly felt sick. You disgust me. Are you seriously begging me to spare your lover now? No. Her voice grew smaller. Enough. I cut her off. If you dare call me again, I'll leak your bedroom photos too. Aren't you so concerned about your reputation? Then I'll make sure everyone knows exactly what kind of person you are. After saying that, I hung up the phone and immediately blocked the number. Glancing at the time, the shareholders' meeting of Cygnus Group was about to begin. I opened my laptop and skillfully hacked into the conference room surveillance system. Soon, the footage appeared. Tom sat at the head of the table, his expression grim. He kept glancing at his phone, beads of cold sweat covering his forehead. The other shareholders whispered among themselves in small groups, the atmosphere clearly tense. Just then, the conference room door swung open, and a middle-aged man rushed in urgently. "Tom, what's going on? Are the media reports true?" Tom stood up, forcing himself to appear composed. "President Liu, these are all malicious rumors. I've already contacted a lawyer to prepare a lawsuit." Rumors? The person slammed the tablet on the table. "Then how do you explain these accounts? This is hard evidence." The meeting room erupted into chaos instantly. Other shareholders also began questioning one after another, with some even directly threatening to withdraw their investments. Tom's face grew increasingly grim. "Everyone, let me explain." At that moment, the large screen in the conference room suddenly lit up. A cold smile curled at the corner of my lips. Showtime. The screen began playing video clips one after another. There were images of Tom's transactions with underground banks, recordings of him accepting bribes, and photos of him fooling around with various women. Finally, there were those photos of him and Mary. Tom turned pale and slumped into his chair. The other shareholders, upon seeing this evidence, were all furious. "Tom, how could you do such a thing? Where did all our money go because of your gambling? Call the police immediately. Don't let him get away." The scene in the surveillance footage was chaotic. Tom wanted to escape, but was stopped by several security guards. He frantically pulled out his phone, seemingly trying to call for help. But it was already too late. His entire network of connections had been destroyed in my plan. I slowly closed the laptop, picked up the coffee I had prepared earlier, and took a leisurely sip. "Tom, this is the price for messing with me." My phone vibrated. It was an unknown number. I answered, and the person on the other end said urgently, "Mr. George, I'm Tom's lawyer. He asked me to plead for mercy." I sneered. "Tell him this is just the beginning. Mr. George, we can negotiate terms." Terms. I gazed at the sunlight outside the window. Fine, let Tom come beg me himself. Let him come crawling on his knees. Hanging up the phone, I turned on the TV. Major financial channels were all reporting the scandal of Cygnus Group. The stock price plummeted straight down, and investors rushed to call the police, with some even going directly to the company to demand an explanation. Just then, the doorbell rang. Peering through the peephole, it was Mary. Her hair was disheveled, and her eyes were swollen from crying, resembling peaches. I didn't open the door, so she cried outside, "Honey, please stop. Tom has already been arrested, and he has elderly parents to support." I sneered as I opened the door. "So, are you here to plead for your dear lover?" She knelt on the ground. No, I just think this is too cruel. Cruel. I crouched down, staring straight into her eyes. When you betrayed me, why didn't you think it was cruel? When you were intimate with him by the window, why didn't you consider that cruel? I was wrong. She sobbed. You can hit me, curse me, but please spare him. I suddenly found it amusing. Mary, you're truly devoted. Now that Tom is finished, you're still pleading for him. She froze. No, what about you? I stared at her coldly. Did you think I didn't know? You never forgot him from the start. I was just a substitute, wasn't I? She shook her head frantically. No, I really did love you. Love me. I stood up, looking down at her. So now you admit it? You love Tom, don't you? She collapsed on the floor, crying too hard to speak. I continued, do you know? Tom never took you seriously. You think he genuinely liked you? He's tired of countless women, and you're just one of them. Impossible, she murmured to herself. He said he would be with me. Ha ha ha. I couldn't help but laugh. You actually believe that? Let me tell you, I have photos of him with other women. Want to see? See how you're pure moonlight toys with others? She was trembling all over. No. What? Afraid to face reality? I took out my phone. Here, let me show you. This is him at a nightclub. This is his hotel check-in records with other women. This is... Enough. She covered her ears. I don't want to see. I put away my phone. Do you understand now? You ruined your marriage for such a scumbag. Was it worth it? She collapsed onto the floor, her eyes empty. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If apologies worked, what would we need laws for? I sneered. Get out, don't waste my sight. Honey, she still wanted to say something. Don't call me husband. I interrupted her. We're already divorced. Whether you want to continue being Tom's mistress or find another man, it's none of my business. But remember, you'll never have a good life from now on. With that, I slammed the door shut. Returning to my computer, I opened an encrypted folder. Inside were the evidence I had collected over these days, enough to put Tom behind bars for 10 years. Ding dong, a text message. It was from Tom. George, you win. I surrender. I'll agree to any terms you want. Please, let me go, duh. I deleted it immediately. Tom, this is just the beginning? The phone rang again, this time showing an unfamiliar number. Tom's parents, relatives, and friends took turns calling me to plead for leniency. I didn't answer a single one. That evening, the news broadcast footage of Tom being arrested. He was disheveled and dirty as the police escorted him into the car. In front of the camera, he kept shouting, George, enough. I surrender. I really surrender. I turned off the TV and poured myself a glass of red wine. The night outside the window was beautiful, just like that evening when I saw them kissing. But now, everything is different. Tom, aren't you the one who loves to play the most? Then I'll play with you to your heart's content. As for Mary, let her watch with her own eyes how her beloved is destroyed. This is truly the best punishment for betrayal. A week has passed. The Gignas Group has completely collapsed, with its stock price hitting rock bottom and investors suffering heavy losses. Tom was arrested on suspicion of multiple economic crimes, and all his assets were frozen. And I still receive countless pleas for mercy every day. Tom's family, friends, and even some complete strangers have come to plead on his behalf. But what surprised me most was Mary's change. She no longer comes to beg me for leniency, but instead waits outside Tom's detention center every day. It is said that she attempted suicide and was taken to the hospital after being discovered by Tom's sister. Is this some kind of dying for love performance? I turn on my computer and check the latest developments in Tom's case. The prosecution has gathered substantial evidence, and the indictment is nearly complete. Under the current circumstances, he'll have to stay in there for at least 10 years. The phone rang. It was his sister. Mr. George, please spare my brother, she pleaded tearfully. My parents are devastated, and my brother has already realized his mistake. Realized his mistake? I sneered. Then let him rot in prison. He'll have plenty of time to reflect. You're just taking revenge. She suddenly became agitated. You're jealous that my brother is better than you. That's why. With a click, I hung up the phone. These people are truly ridiculous. In their eyes, I'm just a petty person jealous of Tom. Let them think whatever they want. What I want was never their understanding in the first place. At that moment, a news notification caught my attention. Former Cygnus Group CEO Tom expresses remorse in prison. I'm willing to bear all consequences. I clicked on the news. It was Tom's letter of repentance. He said in the letter that his eyes were blinded by money and desire, betraying the trust of everyone who believed in him. He is willing to face legal punishment and also begs for forgiveness from all the victims. After reading this, I couldn't help but laugh. Oh, Tom, now you know how to play the victim? Too late. As I was thinking, a text message came in. President George, I'm Tom's lawyer. He wants to meet you. Is that possible? After some thought, I replied, sure, tomorrow at 10 a.m. I arrived at the detention center right on time. Through the glass, I saw Tom's appearance and could hardly recognize him. In just 1 week, he looked as if he had aged 10 years. His hair was disheveled, his beard unkempt. Where was the confident and spirited man from before? George, he picked up the receiver. Thank you for coming. I sneered. Go on, what do you want from me? He took a deep breath. I surrender. This is all my retribution. I accept it. But please spare Mary. She's innocent. Innocent? I found it laughable. She willingly betrayed me. How is that innocent? I seduced her, he quickly said. It's all my fault. I knew she was married, yet I still pursued her. Enough. I cut him off. Tom, who do you think you are? Mary is an adult. She knew exactly what she was doing. If she truly loved me, no amount of seduction from you would have worked. He was silent for a moment. What do you want? What do I want? I stared at him. Do you think what I've done isn't enough? Enough. He lowered his head. I have nothing left. The company is gone. The money is gone. My reputation is ruined. What more do you want? I slowly approached the glass. I want you to regret it. Regret messing with my woman. I want you to spend the best years of your life in prison, watching the world outside abandon you. I want you to suffer unbearably, to wish you were dead. He trembled all over. You're so cruel. Cruel. I laughed. When you hurt me, why didn't you say it was cruel? When you were galloping on my wife, why didn't you think about the consequences? He couldn't speak. Enough. No need to say more. I stood up. Enjoy your prison life. Oh, by the way, here's some good news. Mary says she'll wait for you to get out. He suddenly looked up. What? What? Don't believe me. I sneered. She waits outside every day now, saying she wants to bring you meals. How touching, isn't it? No. He panicked. Tell her not to wait for me. I'm not worth it. Too late. I cut him off. She's utterly devoted to you now. Your white moonlight is finally obsessed with you. You should be happy. With that, I turned and walked away. His shout came from behind. George! You bastard! This is revenge. Yes, this is revenge. Making you suffer. Making you regret. That's exactly what I want. Stepping out of the detention center, rain began to fall from the sky. I saw Mary standing at the entrance, drenched like a drowned rat. When she spotted me, she immediately ran over. Is he okay? I looked at her, what? Feeling sorry for him now. She lowered her head. I'm sorry. Cut the crap. I scoffed. If you were really sorry, you wouldn't be waiting here for him every day. She bit her lip. I'm just worried about him. Phoenix. I shrugged. Wait here then. Wait 10 years, 20 years, whatever you want. After all, you're both hopeless romantics, aren't you? With that, I turned and walked away. Her sobs echoed behind me, but I paid them no heed. Back in the car, I texted Tom's lawyer. Tell Tom if he dares to let Mary visit him, I'll release more evidence. Soon came the reply. Understood. I leaned back in my seat, watching the windshield wipers swing rhythmically. This good show has only just begun. 3 months later, Tom's case finally went to trial. The courthouse was surrounded by reporters, everyone waiting for the final verdict in this sensational case that had shocked the entire city. I sat in the public gallery, watching Tom in the defendant's dock. Dressed in prison garb with his head bowed, was the arrogant demeanor he once had. The prosecution's indictment spanned hundreds of pages, detailing his numerous crimes. From illegal fundraising to stock market manipulation, from bribery and corruption to money laundering and cashing out, Each and every charge is supported by solid evidence. Defendant Tom, do you have anything else to say? The judge asked. He stood up, his voice hoarse. I plead guilty. I hope the court will show leniency. I sneered. Lenient treatment? Dream on. Soon, the verdict was announced. 15 years in prison and a fine of $50 million. The courtroom erupted in uproar. This outcome was even harsher than expected. I glanced at the audience, and sure enough, I saw Mary. She was so thin she looked gaunt, staring blankly at Tom. After the verdict, as Tom was being led away, he suddenly turned back. George, I've admitted my guilt and accepted the punishment. What more do you want? I stood up and declared loudly. What do I want? I want you to enjoy every minute of those 15 years in prison. Tom, this is the price for playing with people's emotions. His face turned ashen. You're insane. This is revenge. Exactly. This is revenge. I walked up to him. Didn't you love playing around? Now you'll have plenty of time for that. Prison life is quite exciting. Take your time to experience it. He wanted to say more, but the bailiffs were already dragging him away. As I left the courthouse, Mary stopped me. Why? Why be so ruthless? I looked at her. You think I'm cruel too? Then why didn't you consider the consequences when you betrayed me? But he's already confessed, she said through tears. He's lost everything. Why won't you let him go? Let him go. I sneered. Your white moonlight did wrong, and he deserves punishment. That's the price. You. She suddenly flared up. You're just taking revenge. You're just jealous of him. I froze for a moment, then burst into laughter. Jealous? Mary, you're truly infatuated. Still defending him even now. She was at a loss for words. Fine, since you're so devoted, keep waiting for him. I turned to leave, then added, but I advise you to give up. Someone like Tom is the least worth waiting for. What do you mean? She pressed. I took out my phone and pulled up a video. See for yourself. In the video, it showed Tom in the detention center's visitation room. A heavily made-up woman sat across from him. Don't worry, darling, the woman said. We'll get married as soon as you're out. Tom smiled gently. All right, wait for me to come out. You've had a hard time all these years. It's not hard. It's not like it's the first day I've waited for you. The woman coquettishly replied. If you hadn't married so early, we would have been together long ago. The scene abruptly ended there. Mary collapsed to the ground. Impossible. This can't be. Impossible. I scoffed. This is his childhood sweetheart. They grew up together. What? Did you think you were his only white moonlight? She trembled all over. He said he only loved me. Foolish woman. I looked down at her condescendingly. He says that to every woman. You're just one of his countless playthings. She covered her face and sobbed. No, it can't be. Enough. Stop embarrassing yourself here. I turned to leave. A scumbag like Tom isn't worth your blind devotion. Then again, people like you are all the same, betraying others without hesitation. After leaving the courthouse, I drove to an upscale restaurant. A woman in professional attire was already waiting for me. President George, I've brought the contract. I took the documents. It was an acquisition agreement. After the bankruptcy of the Gignus Group, I acquired their core assets at an extremely low price. President George, what a brilliant move, the woman said with a smile. Killing 3 birds with 1 stone. You got revenge, made money, and ruined Tom's childhood sweetheart. I looked up. What did you say? That woman in the video just now? She lowered her voice. She was an actress we hired. Tom never had a childhood sweetheart. I put down the document. Let's drop the matter here. Don't bring it up again. She wisely kept silent. Yes, that video was fake. I specifically hired someone to film it, just to make Mary give up. Tom, this is the price for messing with me. I won't just destroy you. I'll ruin everyone who loves you too. That night, I received a text. Husband, please see me one last time. I'm waiting at the cafe where we first met. It was from Mary. I checked the time, 9:30. At this hour, that cafe should already be closed. After hesitating for a moment, I still drove over. Sure enough, the cafe was already shut. But through the glass window, I saw Mary sitting in the corner. She seemed to say something, and the barista made her a cup of coffee. I pushed the door open and entered. Sorry, we're all ready. The barista's words were cut off by Mary. It's fine, he's my husband. She smiled at the waiter. Please get him another black coffee. No sugar. I sat down across from her. Get to the point. She took a sip of her coffee. Remember? 3 years ago, our first date was right here. Back then, you also drank this black coffee, and I teased you for pretending to be deep. So what? I remained unmoved. Did you call me here just to reminisce? She put down her cup. No. I came to say goodbye. I froze for a moment. What do you mean? I'm leaving. She looked out the window. I figured it out. You're right. Tom is a scumbag not worth waiting for. So I've decided to leave this city and start over. I sneered. Mary, what kind of act are you putting on this time? I wasn't acting. She turned to look at me, her gaze unusually calm. I just feel that what I owe you can never be repaid in this lifetime. Rather than humiliating myself here, it's better to leave. So, you think leaving will let you escape? It's not escaping. She shook her head. I just don't want to disturb your life anymore. You're right. I betrayed you, and I should pay the price. Now, I need to take responsibility for my choices. I suddenly laughed. So you finally figured it out? Yes. She smiled, though tears glistened in her eyes. Actually, I regretted it from the day you found out. But by then, it was already too late. You're right. Betrayal isn't something an apology can fix. I watched her silently. Husband, no, George. She wiped her tears. I am sorry, truly sorry. Thank you for taking care of me these 3 years. I'll remember for the rest of my life how much you once loved me. With that, she stood up and left. 1 year later, Tom behaved well in prison, but that couldn't reduce his sentence. His family kept calling me to plead for leniency, but I never answered. This year, I restructured the assets of Gignus Group and established a new company. The business is doing well, but I always feel like something is missing. That day, I received a package. It was a newspaper with a headline boldly stating, Former Gignus Group President Tom dies in prison. The report said it was suicide. The reason was his inability to endure bullying from fellow inmates, compounded by the media exposure of him still writing love letters to his mistress in prison, making him the laughingstock of other prisoners. I put down the newspaper, feeling a sense of relief and satisfaction at last. Ding dong, a text message. I'm Mary's colleague. She was in a car accident. It was from Mary's colleague. This year, there had been no word from her. This was the first news about her. I didn't reply. Another message. President George, would you like to come see her? She misses you very much. I replied with 2 words, not coming. No further messages. Soon after, I received the news of Mary's untimely death. At that moment, I felt immense delight and satisfaction. So the missing piece was this perfect ending. This revenge has finally come to an end. Everyone paid the price. Tom repaid with his life, and Mary atoned with her death. Half a year later, I stood before 2 tombstones, one for Tom and one for Mary. I put down the flowers and turned to leave. It's all over now, and I've gained so much, it's enough.